Hello, my name is Matthew Smeltzer, and I'm a manager at Ernst & Young in their Financial Accounting Advisory Services practice. So a little bit about myself. I graduated from the University of Scranton in 2012 with a bachelor's in accounting and international business, minors in Chinese and finance, and a concentration in Asian studies. And I'm currently an MBA candidate in the executive MBA program at NYU Stern with a track in strategy. And so, as I said, I'm a manager in the Financial Accounting Advisory Services practice at Ernst & Young. And so a lot of you are probably asking, what does that even mean? And that's actually a really good question. So let's break that down a little bit. First, what do you think accounting is? So accounting is the way in which companies record and really track all the transactions that they enter into, right? So think about a company like Apple. Right, so Apple is constantly buying parts to make their iPhones and their iPads, and then they're constantly selling those iPads and iPhones and computers, right? And so every time Apple buys something or they sell something, that's a transaction, and that needs to be tracked and recorded. And it's the accumulation of all those transactions that ultimately end up forming the financial statements. And so these financial statements are what management uses to make business decisions off of, and investors use to determine whether or not they should invest in the company. And so essentially, accounting really is the building blocks of business, right? It's really the language of business, right? And so with that being said, now that you know what accounting is, what do you think someone who's in the financial accounting advisory services practice does? So hopefully you said someone who's in the accounting advisory services practices advises clients on how to account for various transactions, because that's exactly what I do. So accounting can be very complex and very judgmental depending on the area. There's a lot of rules set by various governmental agencies which need to be followed. And a lot of businesses don't have that expertise to really understand how to always transact for a particular transaction. And so that's when they call my group, is we come in as accounting experts essentially, and we help them navigate the complexities of the various transactions that they're trying to account for. Right, so a day-to-day for me is actually usually a lot of meetings with the client and their stakeholders to understand, okay, the background information for what's happening on this transaction that they want us to help out with, right? And so once we understand the transaction, we work with them to develop how it's theoretically going to be accounted for. And then once we understand how it's theoretically going to be accounted for, we help them actually operationalize that. So in accounting, you have debits and credits, which are how you essentially record the transaction, and we help them figure out what those debits and credits are. And so that's my day-to-day on the accounting advisory side. I'm also very passionate about junior achievement, so I've been our lead volunteer for the Junior Achievement Company program in our Philadelphia office. So some of you may be familiar with that, but it's a program where high school students come together from various schools, and they will actually start a business, and so they run that business and ultimately liquidate it. So it's a great experience for entrepreneurship and really learning about how to run a business, and I run that through Ernst & Young. So I'm very passionate about that. And so why did I choose Ernst & Young? Well, I think what's really important for anyone who's looking for a job is to really try to find a company that you identify with and you can really see yourself excelling in, right? And that's really all about the corporate culture. And the culture at Ernst & Young is something that struck me and I personally felt aligned with. So Ernst & Young is the type of place where people not only care about each other's professional growth, but also about their personal growth. There's a lot of people always willing to help each other out if you run into an issue or a problem at work or even outside of work. Everyone's really nice and cooperative, and that was something that I was really looking for in an employer. And so that's why I chose Ernst & Young, and it's actually what I like most about Ernst & Young is that through my 5+ years in my field and specifically now at Ernst & Young, I've been able to develop really deep relationships with a variety of people across a plethora of practices. So I'm constantly learning new things and working with new people who are all really nice and great to work with. And so that's why I actually really like Ernst & Young. And so hopefully that was a nice overview for everyone about what it's like to work at Ernst & Young, and specifically in the financial accounting advisory services practice. Thank you.